Live from the Business Radio X studio inside Renaissance Bank, the bank that specializes in understanding you. It's time for North Fulton Business Radio.
And hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of North Fulton Business Radio. I'm John Ray, and we are still virtual. We'll be back in our studio hopefully very soon, but we're still trucking along, going strong, and we're coming up on episode number 250. 250 episodes we've had over the last 4 years, and we're excited about that. And we were excited about being able to showcase great folks like the two gentlemen we're about to introduce, Steve Rawl and Craig Dowdy. They are in the commercial banking division of United Community Bank here in the North Fulton area. Steve, Craig, welcome.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it, John.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. So just as an overview, I know folks maybe see the United Community Bank name and brand around when they see branches, but for those that don't know United Community, why don't you give everyone an overview of your bank?
Yeah, I'll be glad to. This is Steve. United Community Bank being around since 1950 or so, we're known for our excellent service. I think you see that in our tagline, the bank that's service built. We're a service first organization. That's part of our foundation. That's just who we are as a community bank. We see banking very much as a people business. Numbers are obviously important. We're going to do X number of loans and open X number of relationships. But the strength of our bank lies in the relationships that we build with each and every one of our clients. That's just how we see banking as a people business more so than a financial institution.
That's great. Now, talk a little bit about, I guess, the size of your bank and maybe some of the a little bit of the trajectory, because I know over the years, you've grown pretty nicely here in the Atlanta area and certainly in North Fulton. Yeah,
John, actually that's a big part of why we joined the team here at United. And I will answer your question, but let me let you know what my team looks like.
Sure.
We're in the Alpharetta LPO or loan production office. This is a brand new office that opened in March and houses myself, Craig Dowdy, who is the team leader for our team here. We also have three other bankers, Robert Quinilty, Brad Brooker, and Sonky Vongsak. All five of us came from what was SunTrust, or is now Truist Bank in March. All of us had long careers there. I think Craig had the longest, but we wanted to make a difference in a community, and we saw that United Community Bank gave us the best opportunity to do that. United is currently in 4 states. We recently made an acquisition in Florida with Seaside Bank. They have a very robust commercial bank as well as private wealth area, and that's going to complement our growth strategy very, very well. Atlanta is, we have 3 divisions in Atlanta: West, Central, and East. Inside the perimeter, North Fulton, the area that we're in here in Alpharetta. We want to grow and expand our presence and market share in this particular area. We think that a big metropolitan area like Atlanta is very important to the overall success of our bank. And, the 5 bankers that we have here in Alpharetta, as well as a Buckhead location that has 5 seasoned bankers as well, makes up the central division. And I guess the goal here is to go out, use our experience we had at a big regional, super regional bank, and bring those skills in relationship building traits over to United and help really grow the Atlanta market.
Folks, if you just joined us, we're speaking with Steve Rawl and Craig Dowdy, and they're with the Commercial Banking Division here in North Fulton, located here in North Fulton of United Community Bank. So you mentioned you came over from what is now Truist. So and obviously United Community Bank is a pretty broad financial institution, but a lot smaller than what ended up being the Truist organization. I guess it's the old story of being able to give more personal service and I guess being closer to your customers. I'll let you put it in your words, though.
Yeah, that's right. And to address the size of our organization, from an asset standpoint, we're approaching $15 billion in assets. The bigger banks, obviously, much bigger in assets, much bigger client bases, not necessarily able to be as close to the customer on the ground level in the markets as a community bank would be, and as we intend to be here at United Community. So that in and of itself is a lot of the reason we're trying to translate our skills or transfer our skills over from the big bank where we want to be close to the clients and we want to do more things for them on a local scale. United Community Bank gives us that opportunity to do that.
Now, you mentioned that your team came over in March. That's an auspicious time to make a change, right? I mean, who knew in retrospect?
Yeah, John, I think you're dead on. We had big intentions of coming over in March and, setting the world on fire. We felt really confident what we could do and our approach of relationships in the market can make things happen really quickly for United. Mm-hmm. And then along came PPP and a curveball. But the good thing is I think we all kind of adjusted really quickly. We got our eyes set on the goal, and we took PPP and the opportunity that presented itself and delivered the culture and the relationship skills that attracted us to United Community Bank and threw that out in the market. We're able to help tons of clients, bring a lot of new clients over to United Community Bank through the PPP program. It wasn't the way we intended to go out and get business, but I think with the situation, we quickly were able to adjust our plan and make something happen out there in the market. So it turned out to be a really good thing for us, and we're building relationships and growing relationships off of that.
Yeah, let's dig into that a little bit. I mean, what was it about PPP that gave you that opportunity? I mean, I think there's a lot of folks that know from their own experience what maybe happened with their particular bank. But I mean, what was the opportunity that you saw more broadly to build those relationships that otherwise might not have come as quickly?
Yeah, I think the first thing was communication. Being able to give a track and a plan to our clients before the PPP was released. Being on top of emails, being on top of phone calls, sharing information as it came out with our clients and prospects around what was going to go on. Then the major thing I think that helped us out was our ability and United's ability to walk the process through from start to finish. We had complete transparency in our process throughout. We didn't identify specific jobs for each individual. Each individual ran the entire process. And doing that kept the client fully aware of the situation throughout the whole process. And that allows us to keep that relationship intact and to really deliver on what we stand for.
Yeah. And this is kind of where you're at United Community is at a really nice size. Not so big to be impervious to human contact, maybe is the way to put it, but big enough to be able to bring resources to bear on a situation that got dropped out of the blue on not just your institution, but the entire banking industry. I mean, nobody was prepared to process, the billions of dollars of PPP loans that suddenly the industry had to process, correct?
Yeah, you're right, John. And that's exactly right. We were small enough that we gathered the wagons as a bank. Everybody that was involved with the PPP was on a conference call one Sunday afternoon with the head of our technology area, the one person at the bank that built our portal in-house. So we custom built the portal in record time. Didn't know exactly how we were going to use that, but that was going to be the tool that we processed all of these loans. We all got on the same page immediately. There was a period of time where I forgot the number of days, but I think it was a month straight. So 28, 29 days straight of about 14-hour days that everyone was on the phone in their office. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone from a line banker like myself to our CEO, all the way up and everybody in between. We tackled it as a team. Communication was a constant theme, not only internally with how we were processing these applications, but externally with our clients and with our prospects. And I think it's important to note that the five of us that came over here to Alpharetta, we didn't bring clients with us. So we had zero portfolio when we came over. And our portal was open to United Community Bank clients and non-United Community Bank clients. We did not distinguish between the two when we were processing these applications. It's also important to note we didn't distinguish between the size of the application. I mean, we had applications that were requesting $4 or $5 million, and we had applications requesting $1,000. There was no preferential treatment of those. We worked a queue, and we took the next one in line. We communicated with the client what we needed. We processed it as quickly as we could, and we secured funding for every single applicant that came to us during this process. Now, obviously, there were two waves of the PPP. The very first wave, not every single borrower that applied got funding in the first wave just because there were not enough man hours or time in the day to process every single application.
All right.
But those that didn't get processed were first in line for the round two. And by the end of round two, we had fulfilled every single application that applied with the bank and secured them funding through the PPP program, regardless of status, if they were a client or if they were a non-client. And I can tell you from multiple conversations that I've had with people that they were extremely thankful that we took the time to walk them through the process, that we held their hand and educated them on what was needed, what wasn't needed. And in case after case after case, we saved businesses, and we kept doors open. And that's something we're very proud of here.
And you two gentlemen are too nice to say this explicitly, but I mean, let's just put it out there that not every bank, let's just put it like that, made the decision to accept all comers. I mean, some discriminated, maybe that's the wrong word, but some said, it's customers only, or maybe it's loan customers only. But United Community really took the philosophy that we want to serve our communities, whether you're a current banking customer or not.
That's right, John. And, every bank made their own choice, and that's fine. We 100% respect that. But
sure,
at the end of the day, we realize that because of the clients and because of our communities, we exist. Without those, we wouldn't be here. Our jobs will be pointless and meaningless. So looking at the full picture and understanding kind of the opportunity in the market, United decided to help everyone that we could. And I think that was a good choice.
Now, let's talk about hopefully those folks that you've helped, hopefully they're paying you back with relationships and deepening relationships. How's that going? I mean, how are you able to take the good work you've done in PPP and use that to launch your office there or here in North Fulton?
Yeah, it's been really good so far.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think once you help a client out and they get to know you as a person and what you're there for and that you're there to help them out, and that's your number one priority is helping them, not helping yourself, you earn a lot of trust that way. And by doing that, we've been able to gather a ton of relationships. We've started out with, like Steve said earlier, with zero portfolio, and we're now running along, pretty sizable portfolio. We grew very quickly in deposit base, and we're following that up with our treasury services and our other services to fully onboard those clients and move relationships. And but I think it all boils down to just that whole relationship piece, doing what you say you're going to do, following up when you say you're going to follow up, and providing advice and guidance throughout the process. That quickly builds trust, and I think you see a lack of that in other institutions sometimes, and we're here to fill that void. So it's been really good.
You mentioned your other services, and that's where I was going with my next question is talk a little bit about the broad range of services that you provide for businesses. And it's obviously more than just PPP loans.
Yeah, certainly. We are, we're a full service commercial bank. Anything you can get at any large, nationwide bank, you can get fulfilled here at United Community Bank. The things that we focus on primarily are commercial loans that can be anywhere from an owner-occupied office building to a high-rise multi-purpose investment facility. We provide financing for real estate of all shapes and sizes. We do operating lines of credit, working capital lines of credit, asset-based lines of credit, equipment financing. A lot of clients, majority of our clients, more than likely, and a fair share of our employees don't realize that we own an equipment financing division called Navitas. There was an acquisition United Community Bank made a few years ago, and it's paid off very well. They finance equipment for business owners as small as $5,000 up to $500,000. Very competitive interest rates. Offer leasing options as well through that channel. As a commercial banker, commercial relationship manager, our job is not only to satisfy the needs of our businesses from make sure they have the products and services that they need to run their business effectively and efficiently, but to look out for the big picture. These business owners that are running businesses, they're not doing it for their health primarily. They're doing it for, their wealth as well. And so there's asset management, there's wealth management that we have to look into. So we bring in our wealth partners to talk to them about estate planning and, possibly handing it down to the next generation. We have also specialized divisions within the bank, commercial real estate being one of them. We can, loan on multifamily, big apartment complexes, hospitals, huge, developments. We can provide financing solutions either in-house or with partnership with other banks through participation in syndicated type programs. So, we're more than the small 1, 2, 3 branch community bank where, everybody knows your name. We still try and know everybody's name, but we can offer, someone working from home appropriate products and services, and we can even bank Fortune 500 companies based on what their needs may be.
Folks, we're here chatting with Steve Rawl and Craig Dowdy, and they're with the commercial banking division of United Community Bank and located here in North Fulton, they and their colleagues. I'm curious if there are particular industries or verticals or maybe company sizes you'd like to talk about in terms of those that are best fits for you. Is there any particular, you mentioned some of the real estate projects you're involved in, but are there any particular industries that are good fits for you?
we are generalists at our level here in the commercial bank. However, like I said, we do have specialized divisions. The industries that we seem to add the most value to are, in the medical office space, the technology space, construction, general construction is, very good area for us. Warehouses, in the real estate area, people that are investing in warehouse space, office space, we can help them. Staffing companies are really good leads for us. With, a lot of staffing companies need large asset-based lines of credit to keep, payroll flowing. We provide an excellent solution to that. Our target market, if you will, if we had to get specific on a revenue size, would be anywhere, $10 million, about $5 to $10 million north to probably $50 to $75 million. Anything larger than that, they typically, go to our middle market areas. But in our commercial bank, let's just call it 5 to 75 million in revenue would be a very good lead for us. And, the general businesses in our area are typically technology, medical, real estate, staffing. Those are where we seem to add the most value.
Awesome. Now, and just to be clear, I mean, for folks that maybe don't know United Community Bank, I mean, you've got quite a network of branches throughout the Atlanta area and certainly here in North Fulton that would service clients that are smaller than your particular niche, smaller businesses as well.
Yeah, that is a good point, John. We, even though we have certain, preferences as far as size of clients we can work with, we have very good relationships with all areas of the bank. Our branch partners, our small business bankers that are housed in branches around here, can help clients that are, smaller than what we can add value to. Every location, and there's approximately 40 or so in the metro area, 40 or so branch locations that our clients can choose to bank at. More and more clients are, banking virtually. We have solutions that keep them from having to come to the bank as well. But we do have other teammates in our footprint that specialize in helping, clients of a different segment.
So we talked a little bit about PPP, and I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up the fact that we're kind of in, you might say, as the second wave of PPP loans, as that kind of winds down. We're really in kind of the second phase of all that, which is the forgiveness phase. What advice would you give to business owners about the whole business of getting their loan forgiven and how what they should be doing about all that?
That's a very good question, and honestly, that is something we're having conversations with our clients with every single day. And we do have some, I think, very good advice on that program. So early on, I got nominated to be on the committee, the forgiveness committee here at the bank. And basically what that is a point person in our market for all the lenders to go to with questions that I can then either answer or lift up to our subject matter experts in the bank. So I'm fairly well versed on the forgiveness piece here at the bank. My number one recommendation for any borrower that took PPP funds is to have documentation. Every paycheck, every payroll report, every utility bill, every rent check make sure you keep very good records. There's been quite a bit of change in the program. The original scope was that this was an 8-week program. Congress passed changes lengthening the covered period from 8 weeks to 24 weeks or 12/31 of this year. So it gave borrowers that had not had a chance to use all of their funds extra time to use all of their funds. The intent here, the goal of the bank, is to help every single borrower receive 100% forgiveness of their loan. We don't want any borrower to have to have funds left over that they either turn back into the SBA or they have to turn into a loan that they have to pay back. So our roles as forgivers, if you will, that's the role we're taking on now for the next few months, I'd imagine, until we get through all of these loans, is to work with our clients in the same fashion and the same passion that we did originally to help them get the loan. We're going to work as passionately as we can to help them get 100% of that loan forgiven. So the same tech guru that built our portal has built some additional features into it to help assist in the forgiveness piece. Our clients get a link. They upload their supporting documentation for each week or each pay period that they used funds during the covered period. And once those figures are entered and the documentation to support their expenditures are uploaded, we're notified. We then contact the client, walk through it, verify that the numbers match, and then approve that, usage.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, there is some question about what we do next. The Treasury is yet to release official guidance on how banks request forgiveness from the SBA. That's the next step. For example, if you, as a business owner, receive these funds, you applied for forgiveness, supported the request with all the documentation, and you used 100% of your funds, we then verify that that's in-house and accurate. We, at this point in time, don't have clarity on how we submit that to the SBA. That's coming very shortly, I hope. So we'll be able to share that with our clients about that. But again, our goal is to work with clients, make sure they're able to use 100% of those funds towards the operation of their business and the payroll specifically. The rules did change from the original guidelines of 75% of the funds needing to be used for payroll. That changed down to 60%. So hopefully this is going to be able to help a ton more clients keep people employed, keep their employee headcount up, and hopefully get back to business as usual as soon as possible. Craig, you want to add anything on that forgiveness piece?
No, Steve, I think you covered it pretty well. Thank you.
Folks, Steve Rawl and Craig Dowdy have been with us here on North Fulton Business Radio, and they're with United Community Bank here in the North Fulton area. Gentlemen, this has been awesome. Really appreciate you coming on the show. But before we let you go, I want to make sure that folks know how to get in touch with you. So if you could give everyone a way to connect with you, that would be great.
Yeah, John, our office is in the Conley Park office complex off of Maxwell Road. Our address is 310 Maxwell Road, Suite 400, Alpharetta, Georgia, 3009. My direct phone number is 770-794-3461. My cell number is 678-327-7617. And my email address is Steve_Rawl, RAWL, at UCBI.com.
Awesome.
John, I'm in the Same. I'm at the same office Steve is.
Yeah.
Same address there. My direct line is 770-794-3465. My mobile is 229-220-8051. And my email address is Craig_Dowdy@ucbi.com.
Now, John, it's important to note we're growing. We're moving into a larger space. It just happens to be right next door. So our address will change in the next couple of weeks here, but our email and phone number information will not.
Okay, that's good to know, folks. Two bankers that are willing to give out their cell phones. Doesn't get any better than that. Sounds pretty personal to me. Guys, Steve Rawl and Craig Dowdy with United Community Bank. This has been great. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
Folks, just a quick reminder that if you've got some headaches that involve maybe administrative tasks, maybe bookkeeping, you got to get those records straight to get your PPP loan forgiven. Well, I've got an answer for you that involves calling Chief Executive Angel, Essie Escobedo, at Office Angels. Essie is awesome, and I know this personally because I use her services and her team of angels. She's got folks that fly in, get the job done, fly out, and leave your business better, all the better for it. They've been virtual for 18 years, so working in the current environment is not something they're unused to. So give Essie a call, explain your problem, 770-442-9246. If she can't help you personally with her team, she'll refer you to the right folks. But officeangels.us is her website as well. Just a quick reminder on this show, you can find the podcast version of this show on all the major podcast apps, Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, etc. Just search North Fulton Business Radio and you'll find us. Also, you can go to northfultonbusinessradio.com and find us on the web and find our archive of shows. And we'd love it if you would go and on your favorite podcast app, find us, subscribe, give us a great review. It helps folks that need the services of great professionals like Steve and Craig find the show, and of course all the others that we've had over the years that we've had on this show. We're on all the social media platforms such as LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter at North Fulton BRX. So for my guest, Steve Rawl and Craig Dowdy, I'm John Ray. Join us next time here on North Fulton Business Radio.